second one, 23 people. And I'm going to guess maybe, how many? There's 36 people here. So we went from 12 to 23 to 36. And this is our third one. Thank you guys. You have been in a situation in your life where it was monumental about the choice that you were about to make. Everybody should be raising their hand. I mean, honestly, right?
Anybody ever been in South Central LA? So that was you, okay. So I literally grew up in South Central LA. Didn't have a biological father in my life. It was hard, it was rough. Had a great mother that raised my brother and I. And when they say that you were a product of your environment, that's all I knew was gangs, drugs, violence. My older brother was one of the top gangbangers in LA, and I saw a lot of murdering, a lot of killing, just drugs. And I made a tough decision, like, man, what did you do? Gangbangers are coming after you, right? They're like peer pressure. You learn, hey, I want you to be a part of this gang, that gang. What happened with me was I was exceptionally great at sports, even at a young age. Like, literally, I had talent, I had gifts. And the peer pressure that I experienced was from gangbangers saying, hey, we want that kid to play on my team, and he represented this gang. The other gang said, no, he's going to play on my team, and what do you do? Like, man, these are gangbangers playing that thing, right? Even though that hurt me to hear them say that, but it was the same gangbangers that pushed me out and said, man, don't come back on the street. We don't want to see you. We got your back. And here's the twist. Years later, obviously I'm making it as a professional athlete. The media. First thing they said, hey, he has a gangbang background. Who's his entourage? Are they on his payroll? No, none of those guys are on my entourage. None of those guys are on my payroll. I don't owe those guys nothing, but those are the guys that influenced me to say, look, man, this is not the road for you. So sometimes people see things that you don't even see, right? So I just want to commend you brothers, man, that said they were incarcerated. Don't hold your head down. Don't be ashamed. God is doing great things for you. And continue to push somebody else who might say, no, I'm not going to listen to him because his background. But you guys got something powerful, because if you can't share the truth, like when I go back and speak to the kids in South Central LA, when there are 8th graders already selling dope. There's girls at 11 years old having babies, prostituting. This is real life. They don't want to hear me coming in with a book. They want to know the truth. Like, did you go through something? So you guys have something to put on my heart. You guys have
You're
something,
good, bro.
Man, that let God use your brothers, man. Any way I can be a blessing to you, then I got your back. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you could go back and look at it, are you glad about the choice that you made?
Yep. Yeah.
I hope you say yes, because you wouldn't be here today if you said no, right? And so just like AC talks about, being able to go back and show relatability. The biggest thing that a lot of us look for is the opportunity to feel heard and to be seen. And if we pretend, are we actually being seen? Is the mask that you're wearing, pretending to be someone that you're not, actually stopping you from becoming the person who you want to be? And having people that are willing to hold you accountable because they see something in you that you are greater than what it is, like AC. If he didn't have people that potentially could have taken his life, being willing to hold him accountable so he could live his life, he wouldn't be here with us, being able to share in a monumental story.
Often she'd sit around with her friends, and her friends, their husbands would say, I want to start a business, I want to be a business owner. And their wives would say, no, don't do that, go get a job. Get a job. And I had said to Catherine, man, I want to own a business. This is like way back in the day. And it was like my first of like a bazillion failures. And I remember coming out of it and saying to her, I think I'm done. I don't think I'm ever going to be a business owner again. And she said, no, you're going to do it again. Because that's who you're built to be. And that's what makes you happy. And I only bring that up because so often anybody who knows her just sees her on the sideline. And, Chad will tell you, that my first book, I'd gone to my wife and I said, because it was a book about my recovery of $1 million in debt, really. And I'd asked my wife, I said, would you do me a favor and write the first chapter in my book? And she wrote it, and I went, I had no idea. I had no idea, because she said, I kept it inside because you needed my support, and you needed that. And I bring that up because it's so easy to look at other men and see the power of men. And men are strong, and they're powerful, and it's the women that often drive us. Chris talks about how Shad or myself or Dave or whatever really has helped him. It's Marianne. She's the one that carries that guy. And I think we need to remember that sometimes, oh, did I make you cry? Oh, come on. Anyway, no, but we have to remember sometimes that, man, we've got powerful women behind us, and we're going to be the men that we need to be, and we got to be there for the women, because they're there for us. And I can't say that enough. And just everybody in here, and if you don't have a good woman in your life, man, go find a good woman. It's a difference maker. It's a deal maker.
I got a question for everybody now. That brings up a good topic. How can we as men be better supports and role models to the women in our lives? Anybody got a hand?
It's kind of a combination of the first topic we were talking about and now inspiring women or working with women in a certain way. Back when I was on the speaking circuit, when I was doing a lot of speaking about design and engineering and innovation, I had a student come up to me, a 6-foot-tall woman, wouldn't leave me alone. She's like, look at my portfolio, look at my design portfolio. She just kept asking me and wouldn't leave me alone. Fine. So we went to one of the hotel restaurants, and she opened up her portfolio, and back then we had real portfolios, big portfolios, real paper, real drawings, all that kind of stuff. Went through her portfolio, and I was like, yeah, I gotta be honest with you, you're not a designer. You're not a product designer. Your portfolio is really bad. And she looked at me and said, well, why? And I gave her some honest feedback. And I said, but your research is outstanding. A big part of creative design, product design is research. So you're researching people, how they use things, systems, that kind of thing. Really quickly become a jack of all trades. So many years later, and by the way, she was one of the first people that didn't walk away from one of my portfolio reviews crying. I had a lot of students walk away crying because I gave them honest feedback. Anyways, a bunch of years later, she called me and she said, you remember me? I totally do. And she said, guess what I'm into now? What? 3D printing. And by the way, this is when 3D printing, you had to build your own 3D printer. She said, I'm now bringing 3D printing into third world countries. Wow, that's amazing. Why are you calling me? She said, well, I'm calling you because you gave me honest feedback. I got into research side of design, and I got into 3D printing. Awesome, that's really cool. All of a sudden I hear what I thought was gunshots in the background. And she said, hey, it was nice talking to you. I have to go. There is a militia coming in to kill everybody in this village, and we have to run. True story. Hung up the phone on me. I didn't hear from her for another couple years. She said, hey, guess what I'm doing now? I don't know, what are you doing now? First woman put 3D printing into space. So her 3D printing technology and her ideas got her in with the Google founders, got her in with Bill Gates and others, all because she started doing research rather than product design based on honest feedback that I gave her. I'm still good friends with her. Last year I went to Boston. We went through MIT together. I met a lot of the luminaries there. This was at midnight, by the way. And so we had access to a lot of different things because she was actually doing another project with 3D printing in a different third world country where she was bringing tools and capability to people in need. So pretty interesting when you give somebody a little piece of honest feedback, what they can do with that feedback and what they become.
is that limited to women? Is getting honest feedback and giving honest feedback limited to just one person? No, absolutely not. You know, I know, like we've been talking about, that's one of the things that's helped me. Now, what's another thing that we can do to help our counterparts? Somebody got a hand? Listen? What else we got?
Listen to understand.
Listen to understand. Who understands what empathy is? Can somebody give me the difference between empathy and sympathy?
Basically, thinking you understand somebody and what they're going through, and actually have gone through what they're going through and living it through them.
All right. Can we agree to that or no?
Yeah.
All right. We got a couple head shakes. So what's something that we can do for our kids? How can we help them become better versions or accomplish the things that they want? Anybody got a hand?
One quick answer is lead by example.
Say that again.
Lead by example.
Say that again.
Lead by example.
That's what this is all about, guys. How can we lead by a better example so we can be better, so we can help our families be better and our communities?
If your kids know where you are and you've come here and you've spoken with a command presence, you've made your children better. If your kids know that you're going to church to become a better man, you're leading by example. Let God take care of the rest.
Have you guys ever heard the saying, a picture tells 1,000 words? Wow, the food comes out and you guys became comatose. I love it. Picture's worth 1,000 words. What is a video worth if a picture's worth 1,000 words? Billions. So I keep seeing this movie play out in front of me right now, where there's 36 men that all came into the same room to help each other become better so they can go back in their families and do better with themselves to help their communities grow. And this movie is something that I don't ever want to see turn off. Now, unfortunately, once we walk outside that door, the media and a bunch of other things that are trying to come between us and not allow us to handle these type of relationships and further them. You know, some of the media would even suggest some of us shouldn't even be friends because of the skin color that we have. And I think that's a load of shit. I came real close, but you know what? I'm happy to destroy that run right there for that. Because I couldn't be more proud to be surrounded by people from different areas, different races, different backgrounds, different age groups. That one's for you, Gordon. And now we had Jacob, I'm sorry you are no longer the youngest person here. You almost won it. But Sawyer is now our youngest person. And in some ways, it's our responsibility for us to show up as our best so we can set the example for Sawyer. Sawyer, what would it mean to you if all of these men in this room showed up on a special day in your life?
I'd be very intimidated because a bunch of random men I don't know just pull up on me, you know what I mean?
He's pretty quick-witted like his dad. And I would say, or I would go as far to say, the word isn't intimidated. The word should be
Formidable.
Who here knows what formidable means? There's a John. The person that gave me this word, can you explain what it is?
All right, so we were at Michael Burnhouse event, and he kept calling himself, I'm intimidating, I'm intimidating, I'm intimidating. And I said, man, you got to stop calling yourself intimidating because you're putting a barrier between you and everybody else. I said, why don't you say you're formidable? Because formidable is what you really are, and that takes away that barrier. And then he melted like putty in my hand.
So I actually created something in my brain that stopped me from being able to have relationships with a lot of people. And it started back when I was a child. In fact, what got me into working out and building the physique that I have right now is because I got bullied. I got beat up a lot, like a lot. I was skinny and I had big ears. Bam, there's one.
I know it. I got
Was-
that same problem. What do you mean, Pat?
Hey, if you guys can come close sometime, I'll wiggle my ears for you. Hey, I just want my wife to know that someone laughed at my joke finally. Yeah, thanks. All right. But I got beat up a lot. I was called Stick Boy, I was called Dumbo, I was called Beanpole. I had a lot of self-image issues that led me into hating myself enough to go to the gym and do something about it. And then I became hyper obsessed with it to the point where now I didn't want anyone to ever hurt me again, that I got so big and I created such a barrier between people to try to protect me from them that I actually started to be intimidating to keep people from hurting me. And I didn't recognize that until later in my life when the relationships that I wanted weren't working out for me. Does anybody here have something that they've created for themselves as a protective mechanism to help them exist when they were a child that is now standing in their way of getting what they want in their life? I can't be the only person to have this, and it's okay. It's okay because every day is an opportunity to do something different, to show up and tell yourself that you love yourself and to be able to recognize how you've made progress. Bradley. Yeah. Has there been something in your life that was slowing you down from being who you want to be?
Yeah, I'd say growing up, I had a pretty strict mom, and we didn't clash like verbally or outwardly a lot, but I became a pro at just kind of like bottling things up and keeping them inside, and then also not speaking my mind, and that's something that I've like struggled to overcome that programming like in the long term.
Has anybody got a little tidbit, a little insight on something? Chris?
Yeah, so that's actually something that I'm working on, and that's coming up in the book that I'm writing. And we all have something programming-wise that our parents did around us that we kind of accepted as rule of law or whatever it was. And my family specifically, I was there to modulate my parents' emotions. Both of them were radically out of control most of the time, unless we were in control. What I've been doing currently is to take the time to really hear my own feelings and actually get in touch with those, and going through my own work with therapists and that kind of thing. So what I would encourage you to do is seek people to mentor you in the process of saying, that's not my story anymore. That's not the story I'm telling myself anymore. I'm going to tell my own story. And the fact that you're here, not doing what they're doing, not in the same job that they're in, you've undone a lot of that, right? Now that you can recognize it and talk through it. And we've all had those. We can all look to someone in our past. The men we ran around on the street with. I was a street kid. I ran around down here when there was nothing down here. Got shot at by the cops, you name it. We burned buildings down, all kinds of crazy shit. The fact that I never ended up in prison is amazing. And all those guys that got in trouble instead of me, it's because of their skin color, right? So I lived with guilt, knowing that my parents didn't parent me. I got parented by the streets, except when I started getting mentorship in my life. And it was a cassette tape. I didn't have any men in my life that were helping me out. My uncles and aunts were all old. Earl Nightingale, y'all know who he is, right? The Strangest Secret. That changed how I saw the world, and I realized I had to parent my parents. It's a shitty job. That was what I was there to do. And since then, I've grown. I've helped other people heal away from that and start to parent themselves, right? How do you love this, right? That's when Batman got good. That's when Superman got good. He started going, I'm going to take my solitude. I'm going to take care of myself for a little bit. So make sure you take care of yourself.
Give them a round of applause, guys. I want you guys to understand that we choose the people that are around us. We choose who gets to be in the vicinity of us. We choose who we get to invest our energy, our time, and our attention into. So hopefully tonight you started to recognize things in other men, things in yourself that you need in your life to help you get to that next level. I hope tonight that maybe you've learned something tonight that will help you, help a brother, help your children, or your community do something better with yourselves. I think the food's slowly starting to come out, or finishing coming out. I want to thank the waitresses that are here right now. You know, I honestly didn't think that there would be this many guys choose to show up for this. So we didn't really plan for almost 40 people. I love it. And I'm thankful to have every one of you here.
I usually call you bro, like, because we're just close. But Chris, he saw this in his head years ago. I mean, I got audio recordings of us, like, outside the gym, in his car. And what he saw was just to help people like you guys. He's like, I want to build a team, networking team. I want to better, a lot of gentlemen, men, you know, especially middle-aged or, you know, older, that just feel like they've lost their way or confidence. And I was like, yeah, man, you can do it, and I'll be along with you, man. I'll take pictures, I'll take video, whatever you need me to do. And the fact that you guys are all here now, you have no idea how good this man's gonna sleep tonight. It's just like a big ass smile on his face. I just want to thank you guys for coming out, and he's doing this with purpose. It's not just for him; it's also for you guys, and that's been his mission, and it's gonna continue to be his mission. And I'm here with you all the way, man.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, Chris, real quick. Chris, back off of what Lou, right?
Yeah.
Lou just said. Some of the things that you don't even realize are impactful. Like, I had no idea Chris was even going to mention that conversation. That was what, like a year and maybe 3 months ago? Like, for lack of a better term, we were just bullshitting in my mind. And he took action, and here we all are. Like, we were just, if we had a superhero team, what would our team look like? And here we all are. There's literally 36 people in here because we had what I thought was bullshitting, and this man took action. So it doesn't matter what you're talking about, who you're talking about with. It's the movement, the action, the constant activity. Like, one step forward day after day, and all of a sudden, we are a year and a half later, there's 36 dudes in here because of what I thought was bullshit. I didn't ask, and you did. Here we are.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
Oh, okay. I just want to say one thing because I'm the laziest man on earth. I swear to God, you have no idea how lazy I am. But the good news is that there's guys like Thomas Evans and David Walter and AC Castle and Chris. They make it easy for me. The reason I'm a Platinum Connect, the reason I know so many people, and you can't imagine how many people I know, it's because of guys like this that do all the work. And they just set these things up, and I show up. And it's like awesome, you know. I mean, if I have to pay, I pay. If I don't have to pay, I don't pay. But the great part is they do all the work. They set this up. They do the legwork. They do the paperwork. And if anybody ever says anything about an organizer, you're out of your mind, because these guys, they do all the effort, and all we have to do is show up and connect with people and talk to people. And I got to be honest, if I stood outside my front door, I would never meet 35 people in this room. But because of events like this, I get to meet 35 other people. And I do know some people, of course, in this room, but there's 20 people I don't know. And that's the advantage of these events. And I commend Chris and all these people that do this every single day, because I'm never going to do it. People ask me all the time, nope, ain't going to happen. I don't want to, I'm not going to do it. And I could probably put 500 people in a room, but I don't want to, because that's effort.
So I got something for you. You said that all you do is show up.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to invite 2 people. In fact, I'm going to challenge every one of you in this room to invite 2 people.
Chris, you don't even know. I can invite 100 people now.
Then do it. So here's the thing about the group, right? When someone speaks up like that, what do we do as men? We hold them accountable. Say that again, my friends.
Dave, AC, tell them how many people I can bring to an event.
And that's fine. So once again, we talk about it in the sense of, are we a man of our word? Do we have integrity? Do we show up? And do we produce? And if it doesn't happen, then so be it. We move forward and we continue moving on with our life. And when that person shows up, we open them with warm and welcome arms, because we understand that not all of us are perfect. All of us, we've all made mistakes. I can tell you right now that I've made a ton of them. In fact, I made one this morning. And guess what? Probably going to make one tonight if I don't hug my wife the right way. But, see? But the whole goal of this, guys, is for us to be men of our words, to be integrable, to be the example of the person that we want to be remembered as at our funeral. When we die, what are people going to say about who we were? Do you guys know? You should, because your actions are what are telling everybody who you are. And if you are living out and doing the things that you say that you want to be doing and taking action, like Ian said, then you're going to be remembered as that person. And if you don't know what you need to do, ask yourself, who is it that I want to be remembered as at my funeral? And once you have that written out, look at it. What's it going to take for me to be remembered as that man? What do those actions look like? Paint that picture and then just do it. It may not be perfect the first time. You may only get 50 people here. And if you only bring 50 people here, and you didn't bring 100 like you said, guess what? I don't care, because you tried. You gave it your all, you put the effort in, and you showed up. So that's the only thing that I could ask from every one of you here that have blessed me with your presence. If you could bring one more person next time that would be a contributing factor to this group, please do so. Hey, you give me the people, I will find the room. All right? I'm white. What you guys don't know is not too long ago, after a Michael Burnoff event, I told Lou, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this event, and I'm going to talk to all these guys, and we're going to do whatever we can to help them. But I need you to play this song for me, because this song gets me going and it makes me all excited. And Summer of Love is that song. So every time you hear that, know that there's a story behind it as to why Lou plays it. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Anybody else got anything they'd like to share? Any big success stories here recently? Oh.
All right. I know I'm new here.
Do we like him? Do we like him?
So my main thing is to be like a motivational speaker one day, and I really hope I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, stand up, when I feel very uncomfortable, like right now. And I'm trying to just push myself to get out of my comfort zone. I just want to leave you guys with one quote. I go by this pretty constantly. Reward yourself for the bad days. I know a lot of times we go through life, we're like, hey, we're doing good, let's reward ourselves. And then a lot of times we're like going through months and it's been a bad month, bad week. And a lot of times we don't stop and think like, hey, look, we progressed from somewhere we were from the very beginning, right? So where we were from then to where we are now, we have to actually stop and think about like, dude, we're doing it. Like, this is it. Like, it may not be the big picture we're wanting to, but this is it and this is where we're going. We're making progress, and you got to reward yourself for stuff like that, Take time and actually look at yourself and like, be proud of yourself. I think that's a lot of times as like men is like, we're like, oh, we're just work, right? But like, you gotta take time and be like, you know what, I'm doing great. Not in my my marriage, my life, but I'm doing great in everything else too, And just take the time to just really focus on yourself. And that's all I really want to say. So yeah.
Who here does public speaking? Oh, come on. I don't know why Tab doesn't have his hand up. So if you guys could give him one tip on achieving his goal as a public speaker, what would it be?
Toastmasters. Toastmasters, absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll get
When
you
you do
hooked up.
Toastmasters, you're going to be around people who get up and speak all the time. So they know how to hold a microphone, how to be in front of it, how to make eye contact, how to go, hey, Torsten. Right, we all know his name now, right? Right, Bill? Okay. Right.
Hey, time out.
When you do that kind of thing, you're going to get that familiarity.
What's his name?
Tor.
Who said it? Who said it?
Is Buff Bill?
Buff Bill.
Now,
Hey,
in school.
hey, our names should have meaning. They should have power behind them. It's who we are. Our name is solely attached to the identification that we have of ourselves. And it should be powerful. It should be impactful. It should not be Stick Boy. It should not be Beanpole. It should not be Dumbo. It should be, my name is Christopher Reeves. I am a man of integrity, and I want to see every one of you in the same spot. A man of integrity, a man of value, a man of high quality. And so I hope every one of you had a great evening. Continue. Please, tonight before you leave, sign up for the next one so we have an idea about how many people are going to want to attend, so we can find a venue that will accommodate all of us. And shoot, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Let's get a fit check, bro. I need a. How do I do that?
Is that good?
Fantastic, man. You know, I'm not gonna get weird, but I'm gonna get weird. I'm old enough to be your dad. And like, I have like proud dad moments sometimes when I watch you.
Really?
Yeah, like seriously. Like I'm like I knew you could do it, and I didn't explain it well enough when I was like you were okay, and now you're great. You really have gone to the great side. So
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you.
I'm just excited. I mean, and you handled martial arts.
Did I do all right with that? I know.
Sorry. I had to get it out, but I'm not.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. I knew. I knew the first time I heard him talk, I was like,
But dude, I'm really happy.
did I do better with my voice, my verbiage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did great. Fantastic. I was like, I wonder how many times you're going to drop the F-bomb.
How many times did I do it?
0.
Really?
You didn't drop it. You said it. Short and ass. That's not.